Hi, my name is Tina Lampy, and I am a family consumer science teacher at Conway High School, and I have been one of the FACS teachers at Conway High School for 10 years now. Prior to coming to Conway, I actually taught at Mount St. Mary's for a year, and that is a private school in Little Rock, and before that, I actually had a long-term substitute position doing family consumer science and special education at Perry CASA. That school is no longer in existence. It consolidated with two other schools in the local area. I have been married to Bill Lampy for 13 years, and he teaches at Simon Middle School here in Conway. And we have 3 children. I have a 17-year-old daughter. My husband had a 17-year-old, or has a 17-year-old son, so we're a blended family. And then we have a beautiful 8-year-old daughter together. Let's see, I teach 10th through 12th grade. Again, family consumer science. Some of the courses that I teach in that is orientation and teaching, parenting, and child development. Some of the student family demographics are, we have a wide range, obviously. We have some 2-parent families, we have a lot of blended families, we have a lot of grandparents taking care of their grandchildren. I do have several foster children that I currently have as students right now. I even had a couple of students that are living with maybe a boyfriend or even living alone. And we also have some parents that are maybe gay or lesbian and taking care of or having children and sending them to school. How involved am I as a parent? I'm very involved with my children's activities. It is sometimes difficult to handle all the responsibilities of being a teacher and also being a full-time parent. It's important to be understanding. If I were to train tomorrow's families, I would say be understanding. Listen more, talk less. I think that's really important. My daughter has actually come to, my 17-year-old has actually come to me before, and she'll say, "Okay, Mom, pretend like I'm one of your students when I'm telling you this." So that shows me that she just wants me to listen and not necessarily offer advice, but just hear her out. And if she prompts me for some advice and some answers, then I'll definitely share that with her. I also recommend it's important to start having serious conversations with children at beginning when they're younger. I've noticed with my 8-year-old, there's already a lot of bullying taking place in as young as 3rd grade. In fact, we even saw it in 1st grade. And she is a girl, so I see a lot of already wanting to wear things from Justice, or having certain styles, and that can be difficult for children at that age to understand. And so I think it's important to have serious conversations with them at a young age, and also model what kind of behavior you want your children to have. And parental involvement today for a typical student, I think, really depends. I have a variety. I have some parents that are involved in that they know what their child is doing in my classroom, and they'll sometimes send an email every once in a while to me just to check in. Typically, I don't hear a lot from parents. In fact, on parent-teacher conference nights, sometimes I have 5 to 10 parents, and that's over a course of 2 days. So that's not very promising. However, when I contact the parents first, if I send them emails letting them know that we have parent-teacher conferences coming up and that I hope to see them there, I see that number go up. So I think it's important that teachers reach out to their students' families and encourage them to come to parent-teacher conference and hear what's going on in the classroom. Some techniques as an educator that I would instill in family or family values in students or with my students. Well, when we discuss things like dating and relationships and teen pregnancy, I definitely stress the importance of abstinence, and students know that that's the #1 way to prevent unwanted pregnancies and STDs. However, they need the tools in order to follow through on being abstinent. So some of the tips I give my students is don't allow yourself to go to your boyfriend or girlfriend's house when you know there's not any adults there. Don't allow yourself to be alone with someone that you feel is going to pressure you to do something you don't want to do. And I also recommend, if you have told them no and you've been very firm on that answer and they keep pressuring you, then you probably need to get rid of that relationship with that person. I also share what I do as a parent. I talk about my family quite a bit, and I think the students appreciate that. They like to know what we're doing, and they like seeing pictures in my classroom of my family. And you know, I tell them I'm not a perfect parent and I've made mistakes, and I think that's okay, and that's being authentic. And I think that is definitely something that is a way to reach out to your students. Let's see, some positive practices does your school have that promote healthy families? Well, some of the things that our counselors do, they actually host a sophomore, junior, and senior night that gives parents helpful information on credits and preparing for college, things like ACT prep. We have open house, we have parent-teacher conferences, obviously. East Lab is a technology lab or technology class where students actually go and do lots of different things for teachers. We can put in orders and they can do business cards for us, or they can create large posters, or whatever we need in our classroom. We can have submit orders and they can do this for us, and they'll actually have a East Lab parent night and encourage parents to come see all the great things that the students in the classroom are doing. So that's a pretty neat thing. We used to have a multicultural night, and since we did the reconfiguration of the grades and we've moved, we haven't been able to arrange that, but I'm hoping to bring it back. And that's a really, really unique thing that our school has done in the past, and we bring in all the different cultures, and we have booths set up that have different foods from around the world and different crafts and activities and music and dance, and it's really, really amazing. And I've actually had our FCCLA group help with that and participate, and just keep things going, whether it's serving food or cleaning up, and it's a really amazing thing. So I'm really hoping that at some point we can bring that back, and maybe that's something my FCCLA group can do. What resources are you using now to enhance our curriculum? I am a huge proponent of Google Drive. If you do not know what Google Drive is, you really need to get on board. It is a wonderful functional tool. It's great for teachers, excellent for students. It's very user-friendly. I'm actually putting together a couple of PD labs for our teachers at the high school, and I am doing a 3-hour PD lab March 13th. And I'm really excited about it. I've already put together informational sheets, and I've had my students using it a lot, and it's great for collecting data, and it can be used elementary all the way through high school. There's no more excuses of students saying, I don't have Microsoft PowerPoint at home, or I don't have Word, I can't create this, I can't create that. Well, Google Drive you can access anywhere, so there's no more excuses with that. So I am a huge proponent of Google Drive, and if you want more information about that, you just contact me and I'll be happy to send you information. I actually also have my orientation to teaching students. We have created an iBook on the barriers of learning, and that's really neat. And I actually had a couple students do a few on their own. So I've done that. QR codes are excellent tools in the classroom. That's also something you can create using Google Drive. All of these things are really good for cooperative learning. They can all access their Google Drive account, and they can be working on documents together, and they can be at each other's or at their own house, and if they have a homework assignment and they are doing something together cooperatively, they can both access that document even if they're not together. So it's wonderful. Peer reviewing is something that I have really been bringing into my classroom quite a bit here lately, and that is also a wonderful tool. They see things that sometimes I don't, and I think that's great. So I use a lot of peer reviewing when we do presentations. My orientation to teaching students are working on a board game right now, and they're going to use peer reviewing on each other's board game. So it's a pretty neat thing. There's a lot of internet sites that are available for teachers. We find great ideas, such as Teachers Pay Teachers, Pinterest, YouTube. I use YouTube a lot. I bring in lots of cute little video clips to stress whatever topic we may be discussing, especially if it's something with a theorist that we talk about in class. Bringing in some of those YouTube video clips is very helpful for students. And of course I use iPads. iPads are a wonderful tool for lots of different things. It's not just for elementary. High schoolers can do some really cool things on that. In fact, you can create a book using an iPad. It's going to be more of a cartoon book, but it's still really neat. And so there's lots of apps out there that is wonderful for students to use. And the last question is, what do you see for the future of family consumer science? Well, in my opinion, FACS is needed now more than ever. Our parents or grandparents taught us to cook and manage our money, care for children, sew, manage a home, all of those things. But due to more dual income families and single parent families, that is not the case anymore. I like to see every student take at least one family consumer science class. FACS classes actually has been doing Common Core before Common Core even came into existence. So I think that's important to note. I hope that family consumer science will continue to grow. I love family consumer science. I love teaching it. I hope to be teaching it for the next 20 years. But if any of you need any help or assistance or have questions about Google Drive or anything that I've talked about, my email address is lampek, Lampek, @conwayschools.net. Thanks.